Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have an instructive game to share with you from the 9th and final round of Uzchess Cup 2025. On the white end, Shamsiddin Vokhidov playing against Nepomniachtchi. Okay, the opening we have here, an open Sicilian, 4 knights out and about. We see an exchange variation. Now, this game here, a rather quick defeat of Nepomniachtchi. After only 15 moves, white has a decisive advantage, and it's maintained throughout. Now, just providing some context, Nepomniachtchi had an off tournament. He lost his first round game, had a string of 7 consecutive draws, and I imagine going into this final round, this event couldn't be over soon enough for him. Now, this really is not to take anything away from his opponent. However you look at it, it is never going to be an easy task defeating a 2750 plus player. We continue here with e5, knight d5, knight e4. This arrangement here, very strong for white. This invasive pawn, how do you challenge it? These pawn breaks, d6, f6, a bit trickier to get in, with this knight here tucked behind the pawn, watching over these two breaks. It's queen c7 here, e5 supported, rook on a half open file, bishop d3, c5, and from here we have c4. So if you just castle here, black gets to play c4, kick your bishop back, new square opens up for the bishop. Let's not allow any of that. So c4, nice multi-purpose, timely move. This pawn is fixed. This knight needs to go elsewhere. b4 it is. Castles only now. From here we see the knight for bishop exchange. Now, how the computer wants to play it, it says go for this bishop for knight exchange, and then drop this knight into d4, weakest square in white's camp. Now it does run a bit deeper. The computer here is prepared to play without a pawn from the black side here. Prepared to play down a pawn. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this right here. It's prepared to give up this knight. In play, in other words, this opposite color bishop position, where white's extra pawn, its presence really is not felt. Black has a great grip on these dark squares, difficult to get this queenside majority rolling. It may even be the case that you would prefer to play, easier to play practically, especially if you examine these two pawns here and note where is white's flight square going to be. Typically it would be with h3. That would weaken this dark square. Maybe that could be taken advantage of someday. So this is a deep idea that is available to black. This is some way you can look to play it from here rather than capturing the bishop here, keep the knight around, drop it on d4. In this one, it is knight captures bishop, recapture, bishop b7 only now, rook f2, queen c6, and rook e2. This little maneuver I really like. This is move 15. Knight defended, g2 defended. This is the main sensitive point of white's camp. Also b2 secure. Perfect rook post. Now, black at this point goes for d5. This ends up being a decisive error. How the computer wants to run it, it's saying get out of the bishop's way. It's looking at queen b6 or a6. Queen a6 looks a bit awkward, obstructing that pawn. Okay, queen b6 with the idea of yet again exchanging bishop for knight. That's how the computer wants to run it. In this one, we have d5 now. There's a move that Nepomniachtchi ends up missing, or an idea at least he ends up missing here. The response, we have the capture here on d6 en passant. That's, of course, not what he missed. I believe what he missed is in this position, there is a wonderful move after this pawn is captured. There's only one winning move here. I wonder if you can spot it. Feel free to pause the video. Okay, the winning way is with Queen G3, pinpointing the weakness of Black's last move. Now unprotected, and there isn't a good way to address this threat. Black's response here is castles, and we're going to see how White takes advantage of this. Here's how bad it is for Black. This is the computer recommendation. It says run towards the queen side. Now, White would have a pick here. It says you could take on G7. Probably not the cleanest approach. You would be opening up a line of attack towards your only sensitive point, G2. This here would be clean, however. Knight captures bishop, with the idea to next play bishop a5. And White will win the exchange shortly. Rook is hit. If you save the rook, you'll end up losing the queen. Pin and win. Including a check on d4 does not change things. Okay. Anything else to note after queen g3? If Black tries g6 f6 becomes a hole. Knight could hop in straight away with check. Bishop goes to c3. You're not surviving this. It's difficult to find better placements for the white miners here. Okay. The try in this game is with castles. Now comes bishop c3, mate in one threat. What do you do about this? The try here is with e5, giving up a pawn, shutting down the diagonal for the moment. Anything else to note? If you go with f6, that's not a defense. There's knight captures f6. G-pawn is pinned. So the try here is with e5. This is now collapsing for Black really fast. Capture on e5. Knight d6. From here, g6 is played. If you capture the knight, this diagonal opens up. Once more, mate threat on g7. How are you handling this? However you look at it. g6, this diagonal opens up. In response to g6 or f6, I'll play it with f6. You can respond with this one here. Very strong. What do you do now about the mate threat on g7? Rook f7. There's bishop captures f6. Second, pawn 1. This is collapsing. Rook exchange, mate threat. Queen captures d6 here is not saving. Black trying to get into some opposite color bishop position without the queens because there'd be rook captures rook here. Queen exchange. And this rook is hanging in the end. So, not a good idea to chop the knight and open up the bishop. The try here is with g6, knight f5, pinned pawn. This bishop is going to be won now. No saving it. Knight for bishop exchange. We're looking at an opposite color bishop position and a wide open diagonal now, cutting into Black's camp. He tries to keep that shut. You capture here on e6, queen e5. Good luck surviving that. f6 is the try, and f6 is now focus. Pinpointed with rook f1, bishop c8, queen h4. There's no saving f6. Bishop captures e6 is played here. If g5, you would only be inviting the queen deeper into your camp. Queen h6 is there, targeting f6 along the 6th rank. Bishop captures pawn it is. Bishop captures f6. Queen f7. Don't take the rook. We'll have mate on f1. It's rook e to f2. Now this is a threat. Rook d7. And let me throw this one to you as a pop quiz. How would you continue here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, in the game, b3. Just hang on to c4. A move to steer clear of, this may be tempting, a bishop move to target the queen. If you play bishop c3, it's now a draw. So there would be a trick here for Black with queen captures rook. And if you take with the rook, you end up losing. Rook d1, mate in 2 from there. So this means you'd have to take with the queen, and this is going to end up being a draw, regardless of how there's the recapture here on f2. Black can force a rook exchange with rook f7 or rook d1. In the end, there's going to be an exchange on f1. King recaptures. Bishop takes pawn with a fork. It'll actually be black who is up a pawn in the end in the opposite color bishop position. Okay. Don't move the bishop. That will lead to a draw. Slow and steady. No rush here. Bishop stays put. b3 on board. From here, queen e8. Queen g5, small improvement. Pawn is pinned. c5 is a target. Maybe ideas are now in the air of backing off the bishop. Queen e5, this quick battery into h8. How black plays it, he doubles rooks here. Rook on d to f7 is played. If this pawn is supported with, let's say, rook c7, this is where we could see the bishop retreat. And this idea is right around the corner. So black's idea, I believe at least, is to give up this second pawn, look forward to maybe exchanging all rooks, and then play a queen position, opposite color bishop position. This never happens. This bishop never moves for the rest of the game. Continually clogs things up here for black. What a menace. King doesn't even have a move. From here, it is queen d7, queen back to g5, queen d3. No rush. Small improvement. Got your flight square. All base points covered here. Black can't do anything. Has to sit and wait. From here we see bishop c8. If black tries to interfere with the defense of the bishop, bishop f5, you could take that piece. Got that pin. So bishop c8 here. And now white says, okay, you know what? I could actually be more aggressive here with my h-pawn. The idea, h4, looking to soften up this g6 point. Bishop b7, h5. Note the queen. I was pointing out the pin. This sensitive point also watched over. Perfect piece here on g5. From here we have a5, one final pop quiz. How would you continue here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, how can you add an attacker to g6? Can't really do that. But another way to look at it, how can you subtract a defender? Queen. How could you interfere with that? Rook f5 is the way. This point is now going to collapse. Not much you can do about it. The try from here is with rook g7. White doesn't even take the rook. Instead, creeps a little closer. Threatens mate in 1 now. Queen captures rook. Rook on 8 to f7. And after just one more move, rook 5 to f2, black resigns. This rook is stuck. It's going to be won shortly. There's nothing that you could really even try here. If bishop here, take the rook. I did test out a sort of flashy move. If bishop captures g2, you don't take with the king. If you take with the king, there's some rook captures bishop, rook captures rook, and then pawn captures pawn, discovered check. If some flashy move like this is played, you just take with the rook and everything is cool. No good checks here for black. Both covered. Yeah, this one is completely gone after this cool little retreat. Rook in the end, stuck right here. Dark squares completely collapsed in this one. That strong knight on e4 was not challenged, I guess we can say, swiftly enough out of that middle game position. Anyhow, your thoughts with this one? Feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.